Congrats host, you finished all the plotline. Completed this world's mission. Rewarding 15 points. In the void of the dimension transfer space, Sejin's beautiful eyes even held a rare sense of calm and joy. This is really great, dying together. That saves him the trouble of martyring himself. Sejin had no intention of resting. He told Xiaomi to enter the next world. Xiao immediately asked, but sir, this world just ended. You used to stay in that world for a long time, after completing missions. Won't 2 worlds in a row tire you out? Sejin lowered his eyes, hiding the emotion beneath them, and said quietly, no. He didn't know why. He just felt that after parting with him for only a moment, he already desperately wanted to see him. Wanted to get back to his side quickly. Xiaomi obediently opened the system and started transmitting the world. During the time entering the original host's body, Sejin quickly browsed through the plot. This is a modern world. The original host name is Cheng Sejin. He was originally an orphan, later adopted by a wealthy family in Jing City. The family that adopted the original host is a single-parent household with a mother and 2 daughters. Because Mother Cheng's business went south, losing 30 million straight, she consulted a fortune teller, who said the Cheng family had all girls, too much yin energy. Best to adopt a boy. So the original host was brought into the Cheng family. After having a boy in the house, Mother Cheng's business really did boom, gradually becoming one of Jing City's wealthiest families. But their family's attitude toward the original host got worse and worse. And got the Cheng family's eldest daughter Cheng Chu both met scumbags, and then felt like there wasn't a single good man in this world. Later, the original host made his own money, struggled through college, interviewed at an accounting firm, but unluckily became the team member of the Cheng family's second daughter, Cheng Miao Miao. Cheng Miao Miao was used to being domineering. Her friend was also the company's vice president, so she had no qualms. Pleasure in oppressing the original host did. Once a project the original host was responsible for got switched by Cheng Miao Miao. He tanked the deal, making the company lose 3 million. So the original host not only lost his job, but had to fully compensate the company's losses. He packed up his things from the company and left. This incident snuffed out his last bit of hope. He said goodbye to this cold, dark world. Sejin just opened his eyes to find himself kneeling on the ground. A sharp, mean voice immediately rang out. Cheng Sejin, you useless piece of garbage, told you to buy stuff and you can't even do that. Don't you know our Miao Miao doesn't like cola? She likes beer. You get it. The woman speaking is called Zhu Lingyu, Cheng Miao Miao's top lackey. Finishing the first 2 sentences was still screeching at the top of her lungs. Vice President Mo's gonna drive over to pick up Miao Miao soon. If you don't want to lose your job, get up and go buy it again. You hear me? Sejin frowned slightly. Just saw in front of him sat a woman in her 20s. She sat with her legs crossed, looking down on everyone, clearly treating the KTV sofa like a throne. Cheng Miao Miao had no idea the Cheng Saijing in front of her had already changed inside. Still putting on airs and ordering, Sejin, don't be sad. You still have some good. Like, you bought this milk tea pretty well. Remember to bring another cup when you go buy beer. Sejin's eyes changed slightly, looking at this delusional older woman in front of him, actually finding it hilarious. Why are you still using a straw? Drinking milk tea like that has no soul. Cheng Miao Miao didn't understand what he meant. Just about to ask when she saw Sejin reach out and snatch her milk tea, then kick her off the sofa with 1 foot. At the same time, Sejin heated up the milk tea with his divine power, raised his hand and mercilessly poured the scalding milk tea all over her face. This is how you really enjoy it. This was Chu Lingyuan's first time meeting. That unique temperament and beauty made him irresistibly want to get closer. His heartbeat inexplicably sped up, as if about to jump out of his chest. That feeling was both nervous and exciting. He imagined, if such a beautiful person cried, it would surely look amazing. Suddenly, Cheng Miao Miao screamed. Sejin didn't want his job, actually daring to treat her like this. Zhu Lingyu quickly reacted to score points with Cheng Miao. Immediately raised her fist towards Sejin. This little pushover who usually only knew how to get beaten and cry, actually had an explosive moment. Totally asked him. But the fancy fist as it neared Sejin was caught tightly by he. The young man gripped Zhu Lingyu's wrist tight, twisted and broke him. The crack of breaking bones rang out especially clearly. Zhu Lingyu screamed in pain, used all her strength, trying to pull her hand from Sejin's grip, but couldn't do it no matter what. Girls can't be violent, and can't pour cola on other people. Since your mom didn't teach you that, let me teach you. Jin very gentlemanly used his divine power to completely shatter her hand bones, completely turning that hand into trash. As Sejin turned to leave, seeing the lollipops, he casually put them in his. He acted as if nothing happened, walked out of the noisy place. Everyone who saw this was amazed. Cheng Sejin had always been humiliated by Cheng Yang. Never expected him to actually fight back today. They're so fresh, so unbelievable. Sejin raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Guessed it. The Mozilin's car went out of control. The steering wheel suddenly wouldn't respond. Not even 3 seconds later, the car slammed hard into a utility. The hood started smoking. Gasoline dripped down. Sejin figured this car probably wouldn't explode, wouldn't hurt innocent bystanders. But that little sound was enough to make people's hearts pound. This Mo Ziliang was obsessed with pursuing Cheng Miao. For her, he sabotaged the original host at the company. Even paid street thugs to beat up the original host and film. To make Cheng Miao happy, Sejin slowly walked to Mo Zilin's car, smiled and greeted him. Mo Zilin's eyes widened, kind of doubting he was hallucinating. Why would Cheng Sejin be here, smiling so terrifying? But soon, he was distracted by the dripping oil under the car. He realized the leaking car oil could explode, so he wanted to get out of here fast. But the car door seemed blocked by some huge force. Wouldn't no matter what. He was at a loss when Sejin leisurely walked to the windshield. Mo Zilin had no time. Instinctively ordered Sejin. Cheng Shijin, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and open my car door. But Sejin outside seemed not to hear him at all. pointed at the gasoline on the ground, then said 4 words, "Good luck," then turned and elegantly left, leaving Mosey Lin alone to experience endless despair. The next day, at the hospital, and again with a towel, that young man was staring at Sejin intently, eyes shining with pure, innocent light. When he came closer, he didn't know why. The instant he saw that person, the young man gripped Zhu Lingyu's wrist tightly, twisted and broke it. The crack of breaking bones rang out especially clearly. Zhu Lingyu screamed in pain. She used all her strength trying to pull her hand from Sejin's grip, but couldn't do it no matter what. Girls can't be violent, and can't pour cola on other people either. Since your mom didn't teach you that, let me teach you. Jin very gentlemanly used the wine towel to completely shatter her hand bones, completely turning the hand into trash. As Sejin turned to leave, seeing the lollipops on the table, he casually put them in his pocket. The Changso Soyak acted as if nothing happened, walked out of the noisy place. Everyone who saw this was amazed. Qian Sejin had always been humiliated by Chen Gamiao, over-expected him to actually fight back today. So fresh as unbelievable. Must follow his wishes, send what he likes to his side. But Zhu Lingyuan rarely showed interest in worldly things. This condition kept getting better and worse. Never expected today to be a bonus. Should we poach him to our company? Zhu Lingyuan agreed without hesitation, thought. Then added, get me a workstation. I want to sit next to him. I'm really looking forward to working with the beauty. An innocent guy. But because of an accident, scammed Sejin. This time is because he got hurt. You can't not take responsibility, Xiang. As long as he likes it. Even adding a workstation for him to work isn't a big deal. So he lowered his head. Yes, young bastard. I'll take you back first, then arrange it for you. Zhu Lingyuan suddenly interrupted him. No, you go arrange it now. I want to go see him. Then walked in the direction. Sejin disappeared. Sejin was picked up by the cops who got to Chen Miao's hospital room. Then got Zhu Lingyu's explosive accusations. Chang Sejin, you still dare show up, officer? He's the one who hurt my hand. Not only that, he scalded Miao Miao's face with milk tea. You gotta help us out. Sejin used his divine power to heal the two inside the room following the officer. Really? Sejin glanced at Zhu Lingyu's perfectly healed hand, said casually, let me remind you out of how your false accusations equal slander. You guys usually bully me. Fine. But now acting and framing me, isn't that too much? Zhu Lingyu furious slammed the table and stood up. Cheng Saijin, the facts are right in front of us. What excuse do you have? Too emotional. Zhu Lingyu didn't even realize when she slammed the table. She used her injured hand. Jin seized the chance. Look, your hand's perfectly fine, isn't it? He looked at the officer, his beautiful big eyes innocent and confused, filled with heartbreaking grievance. Sir, you tell me. If I really hurt her hand, could she slam the table and yell at me like this? These few people always bully me. Now the methods are getting more and more vicious. Since they're obstructing official business, you should punish them harshly. Hearing him say that, Zhu Lingyu only then belatedly reacted. She stared wide-eyed, looking in disbelief at her perfectly fine hand. That's not how like this just now. Chang Xijin clearly hurt her. But now, her hand bones were all healed. Couldn't even find a scratch. Looked like it hadn't been hurt at all. Right? And Miao Miao. She immediately opened the door to the inner suite, wanting to check Cheng Miao Miao's face. She saw the face was also perfectly fine. Why? Was it a dream, or was it cursed? If Chang Xijin really didn't have to receive any punishment, what about the suffering they endured? The officer also went over to take a look. Just saw Chen Miao Miao with perfect makeup lying on the hospital bed pretending to be dead. He couldn't take it anymore. Said seriously to Zhu Lingyu, Miss, you guys need to know when to stop joking around. Next time with this kind of tiny injury where we can't even see a scratch, just grab some medicine, don't call us anymore. This is wasting public resources, really terrible behavior. You two come to the district office today and pay a fine. After saying that, he politely apologized to Xijin, huffed and left with big strides. In the quiet environment, Sijin looked at the two who seemed to have seen a ghost and smiled. When you guys bullied me before, you always said you were joking with me. So now I'm joking with you. It's just getting started. He wanted these two bullies to taste all the suffering the original host went through. Only then could be considered taking the first step of atonement. Sejin stretched, getting ready to head back to the company cafeteria for food. But just as he took a step, he found someone tugging on his clothes. He turned back to meet a pair of big watery eyes, looking at him helpless and innocent. Big brother, I'm hurt. It really hurts. Zhu Lingyuan's voice was soft and warm, looked incredibly obedient. His build was a whole head taller than Sijin, but sweet and soft, like a little kid, naturally pitiful. Sejin was seeing little heavenly lord like this for the first. Seeing little lord like this, his prayer actually had a bit more patience. He asked with a smile where he got hurt. Zhu Lingyuan held up his right hand. There was a cut about 2 centimeters long on his palm. Sejin cast Zhu Lingyuan replied that the tree branch was slippery. He wouldn't say he slipped. That wouldn't get him any sympathy. This hunting game would lose its fun. But the prey wasn't that easy to fool. It was aging Katao. The cut on Zhu Lingyuan's hand was way too clean. No way a tree branch did that. He was lying. But Sejin wasn't going to call him out, since he wasn't being honest. Don't expect any mercy. The hospital's right across the street. Go get a bandage yourself. Thinking about to leave. Zhu Lingyuan paid. He straight up used his yin to grab Sijin's hand. Because of the momentum, Sejin pulled his hand back. The friction made the cut on Zhu Lingyuan's hand even bigger. Tears welled up in Zhu Lingyuan's beautiful eyes. This time you're the one who hurt me. You can't just walk away. Sijin acted totally pitiful in front of little lord, and successfully got Zhu Lingyuan's sympathy. He handed over his black card without hesitation, and willingly gave himself plus the milk tea, all free. Lingyuan insisted Sejin had to take responsibility. Sejin slowly placed his hand on Zhu Lingyuan's shoulder. His gorgeous blossom eyes flashed with threat. He wasn't gonna say. You probably don't know. I hate scammers most. Under that stare, Chu Linyuan felt uneasy. Did he upset his little prey? What should he do? The little lord's gaze deepened. Just as he was thinking about changing tactics, Si Jin reached out and gently took his hand. But since you're good looking, I guess I can deal with it. With that, he pulled the young man back to the hospital. Chu Linyuan quietly watched Si Jin holding his hand. The warmth of his palm. If he gripped a little harder, would definitely leave red mark. Just thinking about it drove him crazy. A barely noticeable smile curved Chu Linyuan's lips. He couldn't help thinking he was right. Jin is a natural beauty. Si Jin went to the restroom. He didn't know how someone taller than him could be this delicate. How bad could bandaging hurt? He had to cover his eyes for him, and kept grabbing his wrist the whole time. Grabbed the tail turned red. Si Jin suddenly noticed the red and white colors intertwined on his wrist. It had a unique kind of beauty. Really nice, he thought. No wonder the little puppy didn't want to let go. He walked out the door. As soon as he stepped out, he saw Chu Linyuan obediently holding 2 cups of milk tea. When he saw him come out, he immediately ran up excitedly. Pretty guy, I bought you this milk tea as thanks. Extra sweet, full sugar, way sweeter than the lollipops in your pocket. This afternoon during the bandaging, he noticed Si Jin ate 3 lollipops in a row. Si Jin took the milk tea without hesitation. Still had his pushy habit. You wasted my whole life. Now I won't get paid today. 1 milk tea is enough. Chu Linyuan's eyes were glued to his wrist. He smiled. Of course, if you take me home, I'll have the chance to buy you tons more milk tea. Si Jin paused slightly. Take you home. A hint of sadness showed in his eyes. He explained, I don't have a home. I'm cutting ties with my family. The money I have. He was telling the truth. He didn't want to live with the Chen family anymore, and he didn't have much money left. As long as he said this soft little black sesame dumpling wouldn't have the heart to let him live in a tiny room. Sure enough, playing pitiful work. Chu Linyuan pulled out a black card from his pocket, held it out with both hands, blinked innocently. I have a black card here. You can spend whatever you want. Will you take me? Me, the card, and the milk tea, all free. Si Jin asked cautiously. You have a black. Why do you need to come with me? He said it's different. And explained. Jin, you're good look. Being with someone good looking makes me happy. This time, he didn't even call him brother. Getting pushier by the minute. Si Jin smiled, not minding. Kept stating his terms. Chu Linyuan nodded. Agreed without hesitation. Whatever Jin wants, I can find a way to get it. So take me. I'll be really good. Chu Linyuan said sweet. So take me. I'll be really obedient. Si Jin reluctantly agreed. Watching Chu Linyuan being taken away by Liu Xixiang hiding in the shadows panicked. He wanted to rush out and stop, but Chu Linyuan's death glare stopped him. As he said, come over, and I'll destroy you. Liu Xixiang pulled back the 2 steps he just took. Could only watch his young master get kidnapped. But what kind of weird hobby is this? He threw in himself in the black card, and got kidnapped so happily. Si Jin took Chu Linyuan to a 5-star hotel. Used his ID to book a double room with 2 beds. Actually a 2-bedroom suite. The little assistant was based on Si Jin's personality. He should only need 1 double bed. Si Jin glanced at the little puppy. Explained words. The best hunters often appear as prey. He wants to catch me. Why would I fall for his trap? I'm not letting him get what he wants. Si Jin quickly went into his room and lay down. But Chu Linyuan wasn't comfortable staying in the other room. Before long, he showed up holding eyes full of tears, knocking on his door. Continuing his writing pen. Jin, I'm scared of the dark. Si Jin saw right through him, but insisted on being a gentleman. Dragged the little puppy back to his room and turned on the light. Okay, now you can sleep. Chu Linyuan kept whining. But I can't sleep with the lights on. Si Jin thought for a second, turned off the lights, turned on the TV, volume on low, put on comedy, and said, their problem solved. Be good and sleep. Then turned and left. Looking at the door locked again. Chu Linyuan bit his teeth in frustration, wondering, why does he never play by the rules? He grabbed the remote, changed it to a horror movie, fast-forwarded to when the ghost appears, hugged the pillow, hit play, and got into character. Then burst into tears. Jin, there's a ghost. So scary. Jin, who just fell asleep, got woken up again. Reluctantly rubbed his eyes and opened the door. Fine, come sleep in here. Chu Linyuan was thrilled inside, but still looked pitiful on the outside. Like a weeping beauty. Thank you. Linyuan wanted to cuddle with his sweetheart, only to get kicked off the bed. Last time we said, Chu Linyuan to get close to Si Jin, whined and acted pitch. Finally got Si Jin to agree. When Si Jin threw the blanket on the floor, and told him to sleep there, his mood hit rock bottom. He just wanted to sleep holding the pretty guy. Why is it so hard? He opened his eyes to find someone next to him. Si Jin was startled. Wondered when the little brat climbed up. His wrist was all red again. Si Jin yanked his hand back, and kicked the pushy brat back to the floor. Chu Linyuan seemed scared. Still drowsy from sleep, was especially heartbreaking. Sorry. The floor was too cold. Then he sneezed. Looking at him all pitiful. Made him feel like the bad guy. Whatever. Can't bully a poor manipulative white lotus. Si Jin pulled Chu Linyuan onto the bed, tucked him in and coaxed gently. Sorry about that. I'm grumpy in the morning. Keep sleeping. Then got up to wash up and get ready for work. After the door closed, Chu Linyuan sat up and pulled out his phone. Scrolling through Photos he took of Xie Jin while he slept. His beautiful eyes full of obsessive pleasure. The first few were close-ups of Xie Jin's hands, long fingers resting naturally. From every angle, you could see different beauty. The pale, delicate wrist had marks he deliberately made. He kept scrolling. There were shots of Sijin, the young man leaning against a white pillow, eyes lazily closed. His curled lashes caught the moonlight through the window, looking like falling rain. Breathtaking. Chu Linyuan couldn't help it. He kissed the photo. Suddenly a call came in, totally killing his mood. It showed Uncle Liu. Chu Linyuan took a deep breath, suppressed his racing emotions, and answered. Asked what Uncle Liu wanted. Liu Xixiang told Chu Linyuan he already arranged the job, and asked if he wanted to come now. Before Uncle Liu finished, Chu Linyuan cut him off, saying he'd be right there. Sijin just got to the office when some punks cornered him in an alley. He sat on his lullaby, calmly scanned the guys surrounding him, pouted innocently. I don't think I know you guys. Why are you looking for trouble? The psycho. He didn't say all, but didn't want to scare these cool-ass punks. Then he'd have no fun. Seeing Xijin all sweet and soft, they burst out laughing. Kid, you don't know us, but you messed with our boss's girlfriend. Picked the wrong side. We gotta teach you a lesson. Just as he finished, two sets of footsteps, one light, one heavy, came from deep in the alley. Hearing this, the punks shut up immediately, parted to make way, like welcoming royalty, from Mo Zilin and Chang Miao Miao. See Xijin, Chang Miao Miao's already ugly face got even uglier. She whined. Lin Lin, it's him. He threw hot milk tea on my face. You'll have to teach him a good lesson. Mo Zilin had one arm around Chang, picked up a wooden stick with the other. Chang Sijin, you again. I think you have a death wish. Today I'll let you feel what real despair is. Images kept flashing in his mind. If Sijin left him alone, in a car about to explode, if some kind person hadn't passed, he'd still be trapped in that dangerous car. Next second, Jin snatched the stick from Mo Zilin. The young man moved. Before he could react, whacked him on the shoulder. That instant, besides Mo Zilin's painful scream, everything else was eerily quiet. While everyone was stunned, Sijin said with disgust, "You talk too much." Mo Zilin felt like his shoulder blade was shattered. He barely held back the pain. Then Yodo, get him, beat this pretty boy to death. Jin held the stick, looking regretful, but his eyes flashed with excitement. Mo, do you call everyone prettier than you? A pretty boy. But I can fight way better than you. A few more swings. Just like that, all the punks were on the ground groaning, seeing them all beaten. Jin casually dropped the stick, smiled lightly. Had a blast with you guys today, but I think you need more practice. Getting knocked down another 3 seconds, it makes my fun too short. Waved bye and left. Cheng Miao Miao stared viciously at Jin's back, grinding her teeth. Next moment, a burning pain hit her face again. Like getting burned by milk tea again. Hurt like crazy. It hurt so bad. Lin Lin, check if my face is ruined. Did I get burned again? Is it super ugly? Nah. Mo Zilin said through the pain. Miao Miao, stop it. Your face is totally. Go get a cab. The guys need to go to the hospital. Pale as a ghost? No way. If nothing's wrong, why does it hurt this bad? Badly timed Miwang finally pushed the gang leader who was already hurt with the edge. He shoved Mo Zili aside and snapped, "You two are perfect for each other." After spitting that out, the gang leader limped off with his crew. Cheng Miao Miao collapsed into Mo Ziling's arms, sobbing her heart out. No, Lingling, it really hurts. Why do you guys keep saying I'm fine? Right then, Cheng Miao Miao's crying sounded to him like nothing but a woman's fake whining. But to become the son-in-law of the Cheng family, Mo Ziling had no choice but to keep comforting her despite the pain. Outside the alley, Chu Linyuan sat in his car staring out for a bit, then looked away and told Uncle Lyle. He didn't want those people bothering his beautiful big brother anymore. Liu Shixiang had been the old man's secretary for years. He knew the drill. He nodded immediately. Got it. I promise by tomorrow, those guys won't be in Jing City anymore. Jing popped a lollipop in his mouth, but Chu Linyuan snatched it away in a second, and shamelessly said he loved stealing candy from his big brother. Little Yao, watching this whole scene, asked Jing curiously. Cheng Miao Miao didn't look like she was faking it. Did he do something again? A pretty smile curved Jing's lips. He explained, it's not that I did something again. It's that when I healed their wounds yesterday, I mixed a little curse into my divine power. Same one the last Heavenly Lord put on me. From now on, at the same time every day, Sheng Miao Miao will feel that bone deep pain all over again from when I poured the milk tea on her. I wanted to make it every hour, actually. But that would have cost extra divine power, and I didn't want to waste it on her. After explaining, Jing settled back into his seat, and added casually, I'm such a saint. Hearing that, Little Yao wanted to ask if Jing misunderstood what being a saint meant, but he didn't dare. At his desk, Jing was chatting with Little Yao through telepathy. The department head walked in and told Jing that Chu Corporation's Jiang City branch wanted him to come work as an accountant. Corporation even sent a special card to come up. The office erupted. Why Cheng Jing? His performance is the worst in the whole team. Zhu Lingyi looked at the department head, gritting her teeth. Director, you got it wrong, right? Did you say the wrong name? How could Chu Corporation want someone like Cheng Jing? A total waste who can't even balance the books. Hearing Zhu Lingyi say that, others joined in. Is Chu Corporation trying to recruit Miao Miao or Lingyi? I bet it's Miao Miao, since they both have the last name Chen. The whole department burst out laughing, like Sai Jing was a joke. Besides making them laugh, he was useless. The department head Pan Xing Jing personally requested by Yu Xixiang, the chief secretary of Chu Corporation, offending him. Did they still want to work in accounting? He snapped at everyone. What are you all saying? You know exactly why Xi Jing's performance is low. It's because you dump all your work on him and steal the projects he finishes. Apologize to Xi Jin right now, or you're all out. After that scolding, Zhu Lingyu reluctantly bowed and said sorry. Looking at Zhu Lingyu bowing in front of him, Tai Jin picked up the thermos on his desk. And just like when he first came to this world and Zhu Lingyu poured cola on the original, poured all the scalding hot water onto Zhu Lingyu's head. After emptying it, Xi Jin said coldly, I don't accept your apology. Then he turned to the department head. Firing her won't be a problem, right? The department head nodded repeatedly. Yes. I'll need you to look after me from now on. Let me take you to Chu Corporation's car. Sei Jin got downstairs and sure enough, saw Chu Linyuan in the back seat with a faint smile. He drove today. One vague sentence, but with a hint of affection, made Chu Linyuan's heart skip. After saying that, Xi Jin got in the car, sat next to Chu Linyuan, pulled out a lollipop, and just put it in his mouth. Chu Linyuan snatched it away in a second. I already tasted it. And you're still eating it. Chu Linyuan smiled innocently, sounding shameless. I know. I just love stealing candy from my big brother. The boy looked up with the lollipop in his mouth, gazing at his beautiful big brother like a god. In his wide eyes, it seemed like everything in the world had lost color except for him. 死金烧 back. Whatever. But just so you know, this candy's not that sweet. Chu Linyuan smiled at him. Sweet? No way. I think it's super sweet. Why is that? Chu Linyuan pretended to think about it deeply, then had a sudden realization. I got it. Jingjing's so sweet. Even the lollipop got sweeter. Xi Jin paused for a moment. This little punk really knew how to flirt. Sorry, I also like laying back and being spoiled. Looks like we're the same type. But before he could finish, another tall, manly-looking male colleague showed up. Xi Jin, would you consider me? In the depths of the alley, Mojiang calmed Cheng Miudao and was about to take his girlfriend to the hospital despite the pain. But they were blocked by men in black. No one knew what happened that night. All they knew was that after that, both the Chang and Mo family companies went bankrupt. Both families vanished without a trace. Si Jin joined the new company, and sure enough, he was right next to Chu Linyuan. A month later at a department dinner after being around each other for over a month. A lot of girls had developed feelings for this sunny, polite guy Sai Jin. Taking advantage of the occasion, one girl a love letter. Blushing as she held it up to Si Jin, she stammered, Cheng Si Jin, I like you. Will you be with me? Si Jin handed the letter back, politely shaking his head. Sorry, I like men. Who'd have thought, right after rejecting her, a sweet-looking little guy shyly said, Sai Jin. Actually, I also like... Si Jin. Sorry, I also like laying back and being spoiled. Looks like we're the same type. But before he could finish, another tall, manly-looking male colleague showed up. Si Jin, would you consider me? Actually, Si Jin cut him off first. Sorry, I only taught. Then he quickly walked into the private room. He was still thinking about his little heavenly lord Chu he'd worked so hard to raise. He didn't have time to waste on these. Inside the room, Chu Linyuan sat alone in a corner, staring intently at several empty cups and bottles in front of him, looking serious like he was thinking about some big life decision. Si Jin took Chu Linyuan's hand, poured the half glass of fruit wine he was holding into his own glass. He reminded him in a bossy but gentle tone, mixing drinks. That morning you'll discover new things. Just thinking about the recipe in your head won't work. Said this with unusual fluency. This was the first plain Lu the fox had taught him. After the fox left, he'd memorized every wine in the cellar. He also knew all the mixing methods by heart. Now teaching it to his little black sesame dumplings like returning what belonged to him. As Sai Jin let go, his fingers lightly brushed Chu Linyuan's palm. Barely there, but enough to make one's heart race. Chu Linyuan's heart skipped a beat. He looked up to see the expression in Si Jin's eyes, but accidentally caught sight of his shirt collar with 2 buttons on. Si Jin didn't notice the boy was stunned, thinking he was still figuring out the essence of mixing drinks. So he just picked up the glass and downed the mixed drink in one go. Because he drank carelessly, a drop fell onto the boy's porcelain, white collarbone, sparkling under the light. Chu Linyuan couldn't help but swallow. His big brother was now flirting to death. After finishing the drink, Shi Jin grabbed a napkin, wanting to wipe the wine off his collarbone. But before he could move, Chu Linyuan snatched the napkin away. Then the little punk leaned down, the low heat spread through skin and bone straight to his heart, gradually igniting an unknown fire. Si Jin felt restless from the heat. All he was about to say when something. Chu Linyuan looked up, eyes sparkling with pure innocence. Big brother, this tastes so good. Chu Linyuan confessed to Si Jin in front of everyone. He shamelessly claimed what was his. Last time after Chu Linyuan licked the wine off his collar, he looked up and flirted, Big brother, this wine tastes so good. Si Jin stared at him. Why did he feel like the little heavenly lord in this world kept stealing his lines? But whatever, someone who'd spoiled him for 3 lifetimes. What's wrong with spoiling him back for one? Thinking this, Si Jin pushed down that unknown fire and helped Chu Linyuan up. But Chu Linyuan thought Si Jin cared about other people's opinions. So he bit his teeth and figured out how to force him to admit. If he backed his beautiful big brother into a corner, Si Jin would choose him. Just as he was thinking, a hand landed on his head. Chu Li. Si Jin took Chu Linyuan's hand and raised it, gesturing to the girls. You see, I already have someone I like. One sentence shattered all the darkness in Chu Linyuan's heart. He'd always thought Si Jin was being chased by him, forced into his trap. But it wasn't him trapping Si Jin, it was Si Jin who walked into his trap, then set one for him. Jingjing, you're so good, I really like you. Linyuan confessed in front of everyone, shamelessly claiming what was his. It was only a moment of silence before someone started clapping. Together, Yuan, a perfect match. Shipping the real deal. Someone even quietly asked her friend, guess who's top used bada? Driven need to guess. Her friends are bad just by looks and personality, you can tell. Jin's gotta be the top. She looked at Sijin with total admiration. The one who asked muttered quietly, but I heard the ones who look like tops are usually bottoms. The party ended with laughter and joy. Jing drove Chu Linyuan back to the place they rented together. In the passenger seat, Chu Linyuan stared at the boy driving next to him. In the quiet palm atmosphere, Jing suddenly asked, Yuan, the Cheng family and Moziling disappearing was your doing, right? But Chu Linyuan froze, clearly surprised that Jin found out even though he'd been so careful. After a long pause, he asked tentatively, you don't like it? Jin, seeing him uncomfortable, just shared his own thoughts without pressing. I like it, but I want to move to another city soon. Oh, the Cheng family dirty this place. I don't like the environment's too bad. Hearing that, Chu Linyuan grabbed Jin's hand. Wherever you go, I'll go. From now on, wherever you are is my home. Seeing Chu Linyuan's firm response, Jin hummed in agreement. When they got home, by the time Chu Linyuan came out of the shower, Jin was already asleep. When he first moved in with Jin, Chu Linyuan loved pretending to be pure and innocent, clinging to Jin to sleep together. But as time went on, it got harder and harder to keep up the act. The urge to claim this beautiful big brother, as his own completely took over his brain. Jin secretly saved money behind Chu Linyuan's back for his counterattack plan. Last time the urge to claim his big brother completely took over Chu Linyuan's brain. Once that thought took hold, some changes became obvious. Too obvious to hide, he'd get caught. Chu Linyuan had no choice but to grit his teeth, walk over and tuck his big brother in. Only then did he lie down next to the boy, calming his wild thoughts. But the moment he closed his eyes, Jin hugged him. Cool lips lightly brushed his ear. Murmuring, baby, I'm hungry. That blurry voice left Chu Linyuan with zero willpower to stay lying down. He threw off the blanket, jumped up and rushed into the bathroom for a cold shower. Then he called Liu Xixiang. I want to make a set of chains, the kind that locks a person. It's your preference. Rose gold. I think that color suits his skin tone better. It adds off padding inside the chains, so he doesn't get scratched when he struggles. After hanging up, Chu Linyuan's eyes gradually lit up. Big brother wait for me, I've me for a long time. Not long after, Jing and Chu Linyuan settled down together in She City, living a peaceful and sweet life. But recently, Chu Linyuan noticed something strange. For the past month, Jing had started doing side gigs as a hack. He asked Jing. They weren't short on money. Why do this? If you can't sit still and want to work, just go be a CEO at one of the family branch companies. Jin was frustrated. This little punk was getting